Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Whatever I Want podcast, where I, your host, Gabby, get to talk about whatever the I want. And today, our guest is BMAR. And so, BMAR is an artist, producer, and engineer based in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. He's been on the music journey for about 9 years now, and he's been releasing music independently, which is absolutely amazing. He's performed up for major acts like PNB Rock, Coil Ray, Rakim, and others, and his song Rockstar, that was released back in 2021, just hit over 178,000 streams on Spotify. BMAR, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. This is dope.
How are you feeling today?
I feel good. I love the title of this too, like the title of this pod is genius. But yeah, I'm grateful, man. I'm blessed. We're working, man. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, I love that. So when did you first realize that music was your calling?
I would say, honestly, like the bug bit me when I was younger, but I wasn't conscious of that actual, if you want to call it, like, it didn't hit me until I realized I was a little older, probably like 17, 18. Well, I was like, oh, I've been surrounded by music my whole entire life, like listening to Kanye and 50 Cent from like 4 years old with my mom. And then like, I got older, I'm like, there's a reason I'm attached to this so much. It's been, and it can be in people's lives casually, but like for me, I always studied music. I always loved hip hop specifically. And I say around 17 is when I was like, let's try this because I like it. I think a little more than others might, just like the casual consumer. I think there's something in here for me that I keep like going back to, So yeah, man, like late teens. And I was just like, started writing a bit, making beats, and just inspired and just when you're a fan of something, and then you're standing outside the door, and then eventually like, yo, I got to go in there, like I got to do this myself. Like,
yeah,
I had to like be in this involved because it's so damn dope. You know what I mean? So yeah, long story short, yeah, like late teens is when I decided to start creating my own stuff.
I love that. So it's interesting that you said hip hop is kind of what your mom introduced you to. Do you feel like whenever you were growing up, you listened to a wide variety of music, or do you feel like it was kind of just like old school hip hop, or like what was that like?
Definitely hip hop from my mom's side. I'm Puerto Rican, so we had a lot of Spanish music and stuff as well. But my dad had like this thing for like 80s pop music.
That's so random.
So random, but that shit was dope. And I was like, man, these songs are fire. Like, you're a kid, you like melody and, easy listening stuff. So that's why I think my music is like heavy, like melodic based as well. I think I was just listening to all these like bangers from the 80s. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. I just had a diverse palette. Like, I just thought anything was dope. I had a homie who listened to reggae a lot growing up. Now I listen to reggae to this day. Like, I just like good shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's like food, you know what I mean? Like, I don't only eat American food or Chinese. If it's good, I'll eat it. You know what I mean? So same with music. If it's good, I fuck with it for sure.
So I'm just curious, does that include country music? Does that include soul, gospel? Like, is it that diverse, your palette?
100%. Yeah. I'm not the one personally searching for country stuff, but if it's dope, I'll be like, yo, that joint is kind of hard, like if it catches my attention. But yeah, I love gospel music low key too, because I be making beats and stuff, and that's like the best stuff to sample. Like, you just make the illest beats. But yeah, man, anything that's good, and if I can like kind of see like, damn, they probably put a lot of work into that song. Like, I could respect that as an artist now. Like, that's produced very well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm definitely new to the game, but I am like you in the sense that like I feel like you have an ear for it. Like, now you listen to different aspects of the song. Somebody either thinks like, if, for example, like you back to food, you can have food and be like, oh, this is really good, versus like, oh, they use these spices. Like, oh, I can taste, like this, or like somebody who loves coffee, they're like, oh, I can tell this was brewed this way or whatever. It's really, really interesting.
Yeah, true.
So what does your support system look like? I mean, you're Puerto Rican, having grown up in Pennsylvania. Like, what was your childhood like? How do you feel like you've been supported? What does your family think of all this?
Yeah. my support system is it's not the most unique, but pretty much only child. I had a sister when I was about 3 years old. She was 5, but she ended up passing when I was younger. So I was, I was very young, so I didn't really not a lot of memories stuck, I guess, in a way, which is a good thing because you don't want to be too attached. But really, the single child, man, and just exploring, like my parents were just grinding all the time and trying to just provide for me, obviously. So that's what made me dive into I skateboarded, I played baseball, I love music. I was always that kid just doing different stuff alone. And then eventually you get older, you get into high school and middle school, find people who are like-minded. And before you know it, you have all these traits and attributes. You're like, oh shit, I'm a pretty diverse person. But my support system, my parents are not the most hands-on. They support it, but they're just very they don't know about it. So they're kind of just like, oh, okay. I'm like, yo, my song got 100,000 streams. Is that good? I'm like, yeah. They're like, okay, cool. But which I appreciate actually, because I rather that than overly supportive and coddling in a sense. It kind of gives me that thing to prove too, because when you get a Grammy, everybody knows what the fuck that is. So when I get that,
Yeah.
they'll be like, oh shit, he does this. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
this is
So,
real.
yeah, so, but my support system, it's fair. I say it's fair, it's cool. It's mainly me. I got to be my main supporter. And obviously now as an adult, I have a lot of close friends who do this as well. So we're always on the phone chopping it up or recording together. So now in my support system is solid. But growing up, to answer your question, it was very just focus on having fun, and you'll attract the right people. You attract the things you need, the resources, the skills, So I was just too busy having fun. I didn't give a shit. I was I didn't really need support because I'm yo, I'm here myself. I can do this, It's a passion, man, especially when you're younger. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's really important. I agree. Believing in yourself the most, because if you don't believe in yourself enough, other people are not going to believe in you. And so, I mean, have you watched the Kanye documentary, Genius?
Of course. Of course.
Okay, so I'm
favorite
rewatching it
artist.
right now. Yeah, I was gonna say I hear some of its inspiration in your music as well. I also hear a little bit of Jay-Z, and with other artists as well. But I was rewatching it, and I was like, I just love his mentality. It was just there is no other option. And you kind of do have to have that with anything that you want to pursue in life, whether it be being a doctor, or, anything, any profession. You have to entirely believe in yourself, because how else are people going to take you seriously?
Right.
If you don't take yourself seriously. And that's something that I'm working on, is building my confidence. So how do you feel you've always had this confidence? Do you feel it's something that you're constantly working on?
Honestly, I'd say it's more curiosity than anything. I'm confident, but I never try to prove that. I feel you'll naturally be confident in something if you love it and you understand it more and more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just really curiosity, man. Yo, I can make beats on my laptop, but I'm learning this tonight. When I was a kid and I found that out, I was like, dude, what? I remember those days. It's super nostalgic to me, just when you first get bit with that bug of something you love, it's oh shit, and you don't think you're going to do it for 10, 9, 8 years or whatever. You're just exploring as a young adult. But yeah, I mean, the confidence comes through over time. You start to, kind of analyze yourself in certain areas, okay, I'm good at this, I could be better at that. But really it's I be having too much fun, man. And I'm just too inspired to even care about the external, the fact that we can create music and do content for free is wild to me.
Yeah.
Imagine back then.
A video about that today.
Yeah. On IG, I think. Yep.
Yeah. You were basically saying how it's important to not get caught up in the statistics. And I'd love to just hear more about that. Especially, a lot of people use metrics as a way to measure somebody's value. And, am I good? Right? We're going to use a system to measure, am I good? What are your thoughts on that? Like, how do we navigate, statistics?
I think it's a balance. I think everything's a balance, but for this specifically, you got to be honest with yourself. If you have a goal to be a successful independent act, those metrics matter. But if you're, we'll take it back to food, man. Let's make it a food episode. Screw it, food as an analogy. Like, I feel like if you're not just putting love into something and creating like a meal or preparing a meal, and you're so nitpicky, scared, the result, focus on the result, you might mess the dish up. And the same thing with the art and the music. If you go into something just wanting to make a hit or wanting to make something has the intention of performing in XYZ, you're taking away the pure intention of what it should be and how you actually feel. So it's important. And it's very, like I said, it depends what your goal is, right? Some people, they just like making music. Some people, they just like sharing it, But if you want to scale and have certain goal metrics in mind, definitely learn these things and be keen on them and what they mean and how to, I guess, escalate in that sense. But you got to wear two hats. Like when I'm recording, I'm not thinking of marketing. I'm not thinking of, I'm not really thinking of content or anything. I'm just making the song, and I could be having an effed up day and like, I need to express that. I think it's a balance. Like, long story short, I tend to ramble a lot, but
no, I'm a yapper. You're fine. I'm listening.
I just try to explain it, but it's just a balance. Like, understanding time and place. When it's time to do content, we lock in on content mode. When it's time to do an ad campaign, I got Excel up. I got everything. Got my nerd hat on with the numbers. When we're making music, we got to make music. You know what I mean? So I'd say it's just you grow that balance within time. So you start to understand your process and you start to understand what works for you and what doesn't work. And then you start just putting the puzzle pieces where they fall,
So when you're making music, we hear a lot about flow state. What does flow state feel like for you?
Flow state. Is that, if I'm not mistaken, that's just kind of like when you get locked in, you're just in that, right?
It's basically when it's just like an idea just comes to you and you're just pouring it. You're not even thinking. It's coming all out of you. Yeah, just that feeling of like, what does that feel like for you? Do you get that feeling?
Absolutely. Yeah, when I'm making music, like when I'm making songs in particular, I do that a lot. Like, me and my friend just had a conversation last night about this, and we just kept using the word channeling. We just, you know what I mean? Like, we just channeled that exact mood we're in, that exact feeling we're going through at the time. And then I guess that flow state is the byproduct, right? You just kind of just keep going off that. So yeah, hell yeah. I mean, a lot of my albums are made like that. A lot of concepts were thought from being in the flow state of just like, oh shoot, like you're kind of just a vessel in that moment and just kind of like grabbing things, That's what I mean. Like when I made that post, like it's important for artists to really focus on the art, because when you reach something like that, that's like euphoria, man. It's a high.
It is. It's a drug. I'm like, when I felt it, I felt it a couple of times. And, like I've mentioned to you before, like I'm new to the music space, and I had this feeling of like, I mean, you feel like you're on drugs. Like I literally was like, oh my God, like I feel like I'm on acid. I feel like I'm tripping. I'm like, I just feel, like the feeling of Molly. Like I feel like I am on this high and I cannot get off of it, and I never want to get off of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I think I found my purpose. And it's weird. Like, I mean, some people find their flow state, and, like you're saying, like when they're cooking, when they're doing certain things, like you can hit flow state. And, I think it's a feeling that everybody should chase, because I'm like, it's a free drug. So do you have any advice for any musicians like me or artists who are like starting out?
Yeah. Be curious. You know what I mean? Like, just, if you like, I always say this, there's something that inspired you that made you want to do it. This is something I never said before. And I'm gonna say it now, like, find the one thing that inspired you to do that said thing, and just study the hell out of it. Like that's what I did with Kanye growing up. It's his journey and his look and the diversity and the vulnerability, like you were saying, and just being brave as hell, like to the point where people thinking you're crazy. It's like, that's interesting, bro. Let me look into that. I don't got to take every ingredient from dude, but I can look at some things and some traits and aspects and be like, that could work in life, you know? So I would say anything you're into or you have the curiosity for, just like take it apart and put it back together, you know?
Yeah.
And then you'll be like, oh shoot, that's how they did. Oh, okay. That's why this works. Or okay. So just be curious, and then if you love it, you'll have fun inevitably, and you'll make some dope stuff, you know. You'll just end up doing, like you said, finding your purpose, you know. So I would say that I never actually verbalized that, but that's literally what my whole career is, just being curious, you know.
Yeah. You mentioned earlier channeling. So I'm curious, like, do you believe in God or a higher power? Do you believe in manifestation?
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, I'm a follower of God, Christ specifically, you know. Yeah, because I mean, nothing is as big as we feel, and as mighty we could feel, mighty we could feel every day, bro. Like, I don't have enough confidence to put everything on me. When I'm at my lowest, I can't rely on me all the time. And I just feel like I feel like everybody feels like that as a human being. So I don't worship me. I don't pray to me. I just know I know God is real. And in my opinion, you know, and I can't speak for nobody else, but for me, man, I need that, because if I don't have that foundation, my whole shit's going to crumble. So.
Yeah, no, I think it's important to know that, you know, and a lot of artists will talk about it like in their Grammy speeches, like even Bad Bunny, when he won one of his most recent Grammys, he was like, thank you, God. And like, I think I think everyone in life kind of has their journey, like in whatever way they experience God or religion or their relationship. I personally don't feel like there's a right or wrong way, but I do feel like we are put onto this earth for a purpose. And, you know, we're being led, you know, and I think that's how we get to that flow state, is whenever it's like, oh no, this is what I put you here for, you know, like you're living aligned, you know, with what you know, with your purpose. And that's why I feel like it feels, you know, it's like I'm touching the heavens. That's what it feels like, at least for me.
That's super. I love that. You're aligned, right? You're living in your actual truth, you know. You're being led. Yeah, I should have said that. That's exactly how I feel.
So I'm curious to know how much of your music is inspired by your life. I know that you have a daughter, right? Is it just one kid that you have right now?
Yes, yeah. I had a daughter back in October. My first kid ever. Aww. Thank you. Yeah, just one kid right now.
Yeah, and how has she inspired your life? How has life in general inspired like your music?
I mean, that's pretty much all I draw from. I never make anything out of randomness. I can't do that, you know. Just personally, some artists can. That's dope, you know, just make a song out of just making a song. But me, the type of artist I am and the genre I'm in, even, you know, I mean, it depends what type of artist you are. But for me, my life that's all I have to draw from. You know, I can't write a song about something that I can't relate to or I haven't been involved with, unless it's a specific like storytelling type of song where I can like put characters in it. I can get artsy too, but mainly like my music is a direct inspiration from just real experiences. And with my daughter, you know, that's, you know, I didn't want to be the new cliche dad rapper, so I was like, you know, let me let this live for a little bit. But she's like 4 months, so I was like, let me live life first, you know, before I'm start rapping about my daughter crazy. But yeah, she definitely inspires me. It just humbles me, and makes me realize how blessed we are, and also like how simple life really is at the forefront. Like, we overcomplicate it as humans, bro. As the older we get, we expect too much. You know, we want too much. We're never satisfied. And then when you see just a child like happy with like the most little things in life, you're like, that's how I got to kind of be at heart. Yeah. You know, yeah, she's a huge inspiration, and I got a couple songs in the vault where it's gonna touch on that. You know, but yeah, it's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, I think that's so beautiful. I was actually watching an interview today with Gaby, who's a doctor who talks about childhood trauma. But essentially in the interview, he was talking about how a child is born extremely authentic. A child doesn't second guess who they are. They just are. And I think that's a big part of even me doing The Artist Way, which is a book by Julia Cameron. And it's a book that helps you pull back the pieces of who people have wanted you to be, who they told you who you are. And it's like, who are you at your core? And basically who you are at your core is, I'm just a big child, I'm just an older child. But it's like, it's playing, right? Like whenever you're making music, you're playing. You're like, oh, let me see how this sounds. Like, let's just, I think that's what life is like, we just got to play more. I think as adults, sometimes we take life way too seriously. And it's like, well, what's the point of it all if you're just going to spend it stressed or upset or angry or holding resentment or, it's like, who wants to live life like that?
Right. No, that's dope. I like that analogy. Just playing, right? Like, that's cool. I like that a lot. Yeah, it's really what it is. Just enjoying it and being a kid at heart. What's that book called? The Artist Way?
Yeah, it's really good. So it's a week. It's like a 12-week course, and it's interesting because speaking about community, my cousin gave it to me, and like I feel like the more that I elevate my life, the more I've kind of watched people drop off. It's not that,
100%.
They're just, it's not like, it's just like, we're just not aligned, like I don't wish bad upon them. I don't think that they wish bad upon me. We're just not at the same level. Like we just don't, I don't know, believe in ourselves the same way. I don't know how to describe it without sounding like egotistical, but it's just like, I feel like the more that I align with my higher self and the more that I follow my purpose, the more that I see how many people aren't doing that. And it's like, well, I don't want to be around people who don't believe, who aren't having fun with life, who aren't, enjoying, their experience here on earth. So it's called The Artist Way. And basically in it, you do like shadow work. And what it is like, like once a week, she tells you to go on an artist date. And so you spend an hour, no phone, no nothing. What do you want to do? Do you want to color today? Do you want to do paper mache? What is a hobby that you've always wanted to do? What is something that you want to experience and that you've never been able to do before? Okay, we'll do it today. Allocate time for it. So I highly recommend the book. It has changed my life. And I've seen the way it's changed other artists like Doechii. So we talked earlier about collaborating. For a long time, I thought I had to do everything alone. Have you ever felt that way? Like, it's just got to be me. The grind it's just me. Have you experienced that?
I feel like that right now. And I'm starting to realize that's wrong. Yes, to answer your question, yes. And a team is very important and it helps. You just got to work with what you got sometimes. And like I engineer my music, I produce my music, I record my music. Now I got to market the music. I got to make content. That's just the climate we live in. But I think I put a note up today, actually, on my Instagram. I was like, I think it's time for me to get a manager, because like I'm reaching that point where I'm like, dog, like
I'm overwhelmed. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. I got two hands. I'm like, I wish I had a booking agent. That's my next step right now. Getting a booking agent, because I can do that on my own. But it's like, man, how much help that would be. Somebody who just does that professionally all the time, just getting me shows, boom, okay, that would be amazing. So, yeah, I'm exactly what the question was. I'm in that phase right now.
Yeah, right now. I think, for a while I thought, oh, I just need like even when it comes to like making an album, I'm like, everything has to be me. I have to learn how to do it all. And it's like, I do think that there's a balance to it all. You should know components of it. But there's also no problem at all with reaching out to somebody and saying like, hey, you know what you're doing here. How can we collaborate? Or even when it comes to music, like there's artists who you'll hear like on a track. And it's just like, when there's two people, when there's more voices on it, sometimes it sounds so much better than the original. And it's like, it just because of the harmonizing, there's that ebb and flow. And I'm like, there's beauty in collaboration. And I think for a long time, I was just like Dedica, like so stubborn, like, no, like it has to just be me. I'm the only one, I have all the answers. And like, it takes a lot to like put your ego to the side and be like, you know what? maybe I don't know it all. Maybe
Yeah.
I do need some help, or maybe so and so would sound great on this,
Right.
like, and what's the harm in that,
Absolutely. And to add to that, with 2026, I got 26 songs coming out. Once I factored that in, I was like, I'm gonna need some people to I'm gonna need some verses. I'm gonna need some features. I'm gonna need some beats. Like, it's gonna be a lot. And I just had a baby. I'm like, okay, I'm waving the flag, yo. Like, let's work, everybody, And I have in the past. I was never like stubborn in that sense, but like you said, sometimes we lock in and we're just in our own world. But I was like, let me take the time to intentionally work with people who are cool to me and just be like, yo, let's do something. So I agree. So real. I think I needed to hear that too.
And I also think what I've realized is like, a lot of times we think to ourselves, like, our dream artist to collaborate with, right? Like, at least for me, I mean, I have like, I actually have a list of like on my phone. It's called artists I'm going to collaborate with.
That's so dope.
And it's just growing the list. And I'll hear somebody and I'm like, add it to the list. And yeah. And I listen to everything, and it includes country. I actually listen. I'll seek country,
Go.
And I'm like, add them, and we're gonna add this person here. And I think growing up, we did see that like you could only really stay in one lane. And I love that now there's, people have embraced it. It's like, no, why do we need to stay in one lane? Music is music, whether it be like I see people collab and they'll be singing in another language, like even with Ed Sheeran, he was doing songs in other languages. And like, you just got to make sure you do it justice, because it's like, I'm also not trying to like appropriate or just like, take your audience. It's like, no, like, how can I embrace your culture and your style and this, this type of music, and like, let's just make it a little bit of our own.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have some artists that you would like love to collaborate with?
Yes. I might as well have a list like you, man. I have a mental list. It's funny, like I was never like a beer guy. I always been a wine guy, but like the more I drink beer, the more I like country music. That was just a random fact I wanted to throw out there. But nah, definitely. I mean, obviously, yeah, Kanye, you know what I mean? Like, that's number one. Kendrick, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of weird ones too, though, like keyboard players that I like, and like random producers and shit, But aside from like, I'm trying to think of like the real personal ones. Like, my mom liked Mary J. Blige a lot growing up.
Oh,
my dream, low key, is like my first like debut album, just to have her like on a hook or like an intro or something, just so I could be like, you see, like, yeah, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dr. Dre. I mean, a beat by Dr. Dre would be insane. Russ too. Russ is dope. I
love Russ. I hear a lot of him in your music as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously an independent God, you know what I mean? Obviously J. Cole, Pharrell, beat by Pharrell, be wild. Man, I'm trying to think of like, I know
music
there's like
to my ears.
Yeah.
I'm like, yep. Actually, make sure they're on the list.
Yeah, you're adding them as I'm talking.
I'm like, let me double check that they're on there, because I'm like, I love all these people.
I mean,
legends.
If I get more, I'll think of it, but like, there's definitely like peculiar ones of just like, like, I mean, rest in peace, Jay Dilla. He was a producer. If you're familiar, Jay Dilla was from Detroit, but he passed like in 2006. But man, he produced for like Common, Erykah Badu. But his style of sampling, that's what inspired me to make beats. Him and Kanye alone, it was just so weird. Like, he sampled beats, and he'll take a snare from this record from the 60s, a kick from a record from 2005, a loop from the 70s, and just put it together. And then I'm like, how the hell do you do? like dudes like that, I'm like, people like that, you don't even gotta be the biggest name, but if you personally had an impact on my musical experience, I'm like, dog, we gotta work, But my list is probably, I can go like 3 A's on this list, but have a good bit.
I appreciate the diversity, because I remember I was talking to somebody once, and it was a couple years ago, and they're also a music producer, and they're like, oh yeah, I listen to a lot of R&B. And I was like, oh, do you know Kiana Lede? Do you know Kaylani? Do you know Khalid? No. Do you know this artist? I'm like, naming artists. And they're like, no. Who do you listen to? And they're like, Drake. And I was like, I literally was like, I'm going to go crazy right now. Like, I'm literally listening. And they're like, are these like SoundCloud artists? And I'm like,
oh, nah.
I literally was like, it's so tough for me because it's like, you know, when you love music, when you love it, you listen to it, you analyze it, you feel it. Like I was literally with my friend yesterday and we were playing notes because I've been teaching myself how to play the piano. And I'm like, I can feel the notes in my body. I feel music. I literally feel the vibrations in my body.
That's dope.
And I was like, well, it's actually really interesting that I say that because even whenever I used to get drunk, people's voices would make me dizzy if I was too drunk because I could feel their audio levels bouncing off the walls.
Mm.
And I don't know what this sensitivity to vibrations and music is, but somebody had used a term for it. It's like it's what Billie Eilish and her brother Phineas have.
That's synesthesia or no?
Yeah, apparently it's a form of it. Is what somebody was telling me. Yeah, it's a different form. Like I don't see colors.
You don't see the color, right?
Yeah, but I feel the vibration.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it is really crazy because like when I've done like hard drugs at music festivals, I'll feel the music going through me. I'm like, oh my god, this is too much.
Word.
I'm like, oh okay, so let's dial it back, Gabby, because I'm also small, so you know I tend to do things as big as other people, and it's like, girl, you should not be drinking as much as like a 6-foot person is. Like I'm 5'1", so it's like, you know, like you don't gotta keep up with them. You know, like you can dose down, Gabby. Like no biggie.
There's weight classes, man. You know.
Yeah, I'm like, you know, we don't gotta go all in.
That's
so
funny.
Is there any? I know we mentioned like gospel. Is there any other genre that people would be surprised that you listen to?
Probably reggae. I listen to reggae like I live in Jamaica. Like I really listen to reggae a lot. Like, you know, obviously Spanish, I mean, that's not surprising. I'm Puerto Rican. But I say reggae, and like I listen to a lot of like soft 80s rock, like a lot. Like people will probably look at me like, yo, this dude's wild, bro. But like I'll go, you give me the aux chord, you're gonna get like you'll probably get like Kendrick or like maybe some new dude, and then you'll get like Whitney Houston. You'll be like, yo, what the fuck, bro? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I keep it well round, man. I like I said earlier, I just like good stuff, you know, and things that I like. But I say reggae. Like my homie that we're real tight now. When I first met him, he's playing reggae music. I think he's like Trinidadian. But I was like, oh, yo, this is blah blah blah. He's like, how do you know this shit? I'm like, bro, what? And he's like, your Spanish ass knows this. I'm like, yeah, bro. Like,
yeah.
I love reggae music, man. It's you got that vibe, you got that rebel sound, like this in your face, you know what I mean? So I say reggae.
How did you feel like being Puerto Rican with Debí Tirar Más Fotos being released? Like, what does that album do for you?
To be honest, I don't listen to Bad Bunny like that. Podcast and
what do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean? I mean, why? Is there a reason why?
No, not a reason why. I just never got into it.
Even with that album specifically?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you any of his albums, I'm gonna be honest.
That's really interesting because I'm Mexican, right? I'm not Puerto Rican. I grew up in South Florida, so like I grew up around Puerto Ricans, and I have some cousins who are Puerto Rican. But when that album released, I was like, I'm fucking proud to be Boricua, and I'm not even Puerto Rican. I was like, I feel the pride that is in that album, and like, thankfully, since I am from South Florida, I grew up like pretty much like depending on traffic, you know, like an hour, 45 minutes north of Miami. So I grew up with salsa, merengue, you know, like different types of Spanish music versus like just Mexican music. So I mean, I can feel the pride in that album. So I would argue that you should give it a second chance.
Yeah.
You know, just you know, just play it, you know, see if you feel any different, you know.
The thing about that is, like, as ignorant as it may sound on my end, like, yo, what the hell, bro? Like, I'm like very particular what I tap into. I listened to a couple. This probably sounds like every other American, but I listened to Bad Bunny after the Super Bowl. Like, I was like, okay, but I never dove into his stuff. Like, definitely proud, anybody. I was a huge Daddy Yankee fan, a lot of like artists like that growing up. But I just never dove into Bad Bunny, and I don't even think his music's bad. I just never did. I think Lil Wayne has a quote too where he's like, "I just be listening to my own shit a lot." Like,
yeah, I'm pretty sure I heard him say that.
Like, I'm very stubborn sometimes I listen to a lot of stuff, but I'm stubborn to like what I like, and sometimes I don't look for new shit. That's one thing I've been trying to work at. It's not good at all. Like, I'll be like, okay, Kanye today, and then this tomorrow, and I'm like, yo, there's other shit out there, Like, so I'm gonna take you up on that, man. I'm gonna tap into Bad Bunny because I got called out, man. I need to tap in.
Yeah, I think sometimes we forget that. It's like, I was thinking about it earlier today because for a while, all I was listening to was newer stuff. Like, according to my Spotify Wrapped, I was like 20 years old or like something. Like, I was really young because it said I was listening to like all the new stuff because that's just what I would do. Something's new is released, I'm gonna give it at least somewhat of a try. I might not get through the whole album. I might just listen to a couple songs or like, because I can kind of tell within the first 20, 30 seconds whether or not I'm going to like the song. Yeah. Which is really bad. But like, I'll try and I'll just be like, not for me, skip, not for me. Or maybe not my mood right now. So I'll like it. I'll come back to it later. Because I was trying to listen to J. Cole's album and I was driving to work. And all I got was through the intro. And at the end, I hear, bah, 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 bah. And I'm like, at 7 a.m. and I'm like, no. I'm like, this is too much for me right now. I'm not in the headspace to listen to it. I'm like, I'm hearing gunshots, like, and I'm trying to head to work. Like, this is too much. Yeah. But I knew that it's like, I'm not in the right headspace for it. Sometimes you are in the mood to listen to like your comfort music. And sometimes you're in the mood to like explore, try something new, or listen to like a recommended artist.
No, 100%. That mood is everything. You can't listen to. Yeah, I feel you. I'm not trying to hear someone get shot at 6:59 p.m. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, like, no, 100. I feel you on that, and I've done that with a lot of music too. Like, I'll hear it at the wrong time, and I'll go back, and I'm like, oh shit, like I get it now. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, that's one thing I got to work on, man. Like, being more open-minded with like my personal taste. I'm very open-minded when it comes to other things and like creating, but like I just get lost in my own playlist sometimes, and I forget other music exists sometimes. Like, So do you go out to like bars or clubs and are you like, pass me the aux? Nah, I'm not that guy. I'm more like if I'm not feeling the music, I'll put the one AirPod in. You know what I mean? I'll just play. Really, you'll be at a okay. That's at a bar. Not a club though. Not a club. That's wild. Yeah, the AirPod in the club is wicked, but yeah, I'm like, that thing would need to be so loud. Like, there's no way. That shit will shake out your ear. Yeah, I'm like, there's no way. But if I'm like at a playing pool at a bar and they just playing like something, I'll just throw my joint in and I'm like, all right. But nah, yeah, I definitely like. I haven't been clubbing in a minute. I just had a baby, so I'm like, you know what I mean? But yeah, I hear some shit sometimes, but also the area where I live, they don't play the best stuff sometimes. So I'm like, I just got to get like, a couple gin and tonics and I'll start liking it after a while. Yeah. No, I completely feel on that. Like, we go out to some bars here that there's like I live in Chicago now. There's like a gay strip of bars that I like to go to. And there's very few of them because like the gay scene in general plays like a lot of EDM, and I don't mind EDM, but the mixes just are terrible. And I'm like, I have those few little spots where I'm like, they throw a Latin night and they have 2 rooms and I can go from one to the other if I'm not feeling it. But music sets the ambiance. Music sets the tone. Music is what I've realized, like, music heals. Music is a way where people can relate to you. Like, I mean, it's so beautiful. It's its own language. And I used to say, if I could have any superpower in the world, it would be to be able to speak every language, to be able to communicate with everybody. And now that I've realized, I really was reflecting on my life, and I was like, God's gift to me was my passion for music and writing. And that is my way to communicate with everybody. I have my superpower. Like, it was this, I was high. I was like,
I was
That
like,
makes
what
so
is
much
this
sense, though.
revelation? Yeah. I
Music's
was like, this is so
universal.
cool. Yeah, and
Yeah.
you go to another country and people will hear your songs and, even K-pop. Think about how big K-pop is.
Right.
I have friends who are obsessed with it. They don't know a lick of what they're singing,
Yeah.
but they know the vibe, they know the feeling, they know how it, like, I'm like,
Right.
oh, it was such a cool revelation that I had.
That's dope, man. No, that's beautiful. Like, that's
Thanks.
real. Yeah.
So, do you have a current favorite album right now?
Current favorite album. That's a good question. Damn, I don't even know. Let me see.
I mean, you can grab
And
your
if you want,
phone.
can it be one of mine or no? Let's say no. Shit.
You can say one of yours, but I would also like to hear another artist.
I got you. My current favorite album. What am I vibing with the most right now? Damn. Let me go through my Apple Music here on my laptop.
Yeah, go for it.
Let me check, because I don't want to spitball and be like, oh, the Wiggles album. I want to give you a real answer here.
Like, do they have an album?
Yeah, the Sesame Street mixtape. Let me check. My favorite album as of now, I mean, I go in between, but I think with just winter ending and like kind of spring approaching, and J. Cole's in this too. It's just one of his older ones.
Okay.
808s and Heartbreak by Kanye is like my winter go-to. Like Heartless and like Love Lockdown. And then also Born Sinner by J. Cole. I really like that album a lot. It's a long album. It's a dense listen, but like there's just a lot of classic stuff on there. And I would say too, the Blueprint one, the first Blueprint by Hov. I've been listening to that crazy, but it always fluctuates. But right now, I would say those three is like when I'm kind of transitioning out of, and then once like spring and summer comes, I'll be like on some, I'll probably switch it up, like Graduation or like Carter 3/8, Lil Wayne, like, But right now, I say
classics.
Oh yeah.
It's still like albums that have just like withstood time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Carter 3, like, crazy.
Yeah, my current favorite album has been The Art of Loving by Olivia Dean. I'm not sure if you're familiar with her game.
She won
a Grammy. She was she's a quote unquote new breakout artist, but I mean she's been in the game for a while. She sings, I would say, like more like soul jazzy R&B. She's got that like classic feel, very traditional. She's got like a very her stage presence is very classic in the way that now you'll find a lot of artists, especially like women. I mean, as we know, like sex sells, right? And so we'll see a lot of women who tend to wear certain outfits, dance a certain way. Like music has evolved to where it's like, are you a performer? It went from like, are you good to can you entertain me?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I feel like with her, it's like, oh no, she's just good. She's like, baby, I don't gotta do no entertaining. Yeah. It's just like, here's my voice, and you're gonna love it or you're not. But I'm here to set the mood.
Is it like almost equivalent or I guess adjacent to like Sade in a way?
I would say so. I think I would say style of music is a little different, but I would say like in terms of like stage presence,
like character, right? Yeah.
Word. It's just like, it's just like here I am, just singing. Even like Ari Lennox was like that whenever I saw her live, or LMA as well. They were not like, they were just like, here's my voice, and we're here to sing. That's what we're here to do. Yeah, and I love that. I'm like, this is raw, I
have a whole opinion about that, and I'm on your side with this. Like I 100% agree, man, because there's a lot of. And there's an equivalent to men too that do this, not in a sexual way, but in a way that's just like basic clone copy version of grab the gun and I'm gonna talk about this. It's like the scapegoat. I hate that so much because I know deep down they're all nerds and they have like their own personality. I'm like, you fucking lying. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
It's not just the women. There's dudes too that be on that BS, man, just wearing the mask and. They just, this is safe. I'm going to do this. I'm not going to go to the mall and pick out what I like. I'm going to rock the mannequin because it's safe.
Yeah. No, I authenticity was like what Gabor Mate talked about, but I also feel like in general why people tend to look up, like even like when it comes to me. I remember like I'll do something and then I'll see it as a trend a couple years later. And when I look at my birth chart, it does say like I do believe in astrology, and it'll say like that's like the stars aligned and that's my thing. But I also feel like in general that's what people want to be, right? So it's like,
Right.
I see you being authentic. I think that's cool. I'm not going to figure out who I am as a person. I'm going to copy you
Right.
because you're selling the confidence. You love who you are. And I want to be like that. So I'm going to be like you.
Right.
Instead of saying, oh, who am I? How can I embrace my own authenticity? And I think that's where people get it mixed up. And I think that there's a space for entertainers to entertain. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, you know, if Megan's shaking her ass, I'm gonna look, you know, like, I mean, she like, you know, I mean, she looks good and she's an entertainer. But like, there is a space for, you know, everybody, you know, it's like the people who do want to entertain, the people who do see music as like, I'm just setting a vibe, I'm setting a mood, you know, we're here to like, whenever I saw Post Malone, it was kind of just like everybody just singing at the top of their lungs, you know, that's sometimes what the vibe is. Sometimes the vibe at a festival is we're just going to chill, we're going to smoke, we're going to lay back. You know, it's like, it depends on the mood you want to set. But yeah.
No, 100%. Yeah. Cause I like a lot of that stuff as well. You know, like to your point, like I don't shut it. But sometimes when I see a lot of, I guess, up and comers in a way, or like newer people, I'm just like, ah, man, like you had an opportunity to like be a new flavor and you kind of just like copied someone. You know what I mean? And, but the goats who did it and like did it first, I'm like, yeah, you can't disrespect them. You know, like Lil Wayne birthed a lot of rappers, man. And Lil Kim and Nicki Minaj also birthed a lot of these artists.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What are your
my opinion?
No, I mean I agree there. And I've been thinking about that lately is like, because you know, I was talking about like listening to a lot of new music. But I feel like for a while I was forgetting about the greats. Like there's a reason why those people have withstood time. And
pioneers.
Like, okay, yeah, like let me study them, you know, because like I see what my peers are doing, but it's like, well, who was their inspiration, you know? And it's like, oh, let me go back to like the real people who did all this, you know, like I was learning the piano and I'm learning other songs, and I was like, what about Alicia Keys? I was like, she is the piano, you know? And I was like, you know what? I was like, let me watch some Alicia Keys interviews. Let me see, you know, like let me study her, you know? And so I've been trying to like remember that is like, no, I mean, it's like, it's history. I mean, I really feel like I'm a student of music. I feel like I didn't. So I have a degree, you know, I went to college, I did all the things, people pleasing, you know, whatever my parents wanted, I'll do, right? And then now I'm like, oh shit, I gotta go back to school, but it's gotta look like me studying music on my own time, watching interviews, documentaries, spending time, learning softwares, you know, learning chords, learning keys, you know, working on my vocal warm-ups, you know, like it looks very different.
Right.
Do you, I mean, obviously I feel like you never stop being a student. Do you feel like right now, how would you classify yourself? Like, do you feel like you're a beginner? You feel like you're intermediate? You feel like you're advanced?
That's dope. I like that question. That's cool. Man, I feel like I'll always be at heart, I feel like we're all still beginners, man. You know, like unless, you know, you're the god of everything, but like, man, I mean, I'm proud of my skills. I'm confident in my skill set. I'm more so than my skill set. I'm proud of my mind and like the way I'm able to comprehend my music and put it together. But I think there's still a lot of learning to do. And I think there's more, aside from learning, I think there's a lot of more tapping in to do. I think there's more to me where I'm like, yo, you're going to hit a certain point in a certain spot in your life, bro. You're going to unlock like this other side of music. Screw the music and how it sounds. You're going to unlock some truth that's going to just, people are going to be like, oh shit. Yeah, that's, you know, it's undeniable. So I love where I'm at now and I'm very proud of it. And, but I like I said, I think I'm going to tap into something that's just like full transparency and just like shit's going to just be coming like that because I'm going to just be tapped into this energy, that's just pure, you know?
Yeah.
And I get little strides of that, you know. I try to make every song like that, but I don't know. I was talking to my friend about it. I just feel like there's something still to be discovered, like with my music, you know, and just like what I can do. I feel like all of us, you know, the more you do something, the more you play basketball or whatever, like you're gonna tap into like something that's new and that can help you a lot. So yeah, it's cool because every night you're cooking up, you're making music, and you're like, this night I might fuck around and like gain another fucking superpower. I might make a song that's like fucking insane, or I might make a ballad like sound like Adele, like, you know, or I might bar like Jay-Z. You never know. So it's just cool to just be in there. You just gotta be present. You just gotta show up. If you show up, like you'll be all right. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I've been thinking about lately is like, I feel like my routines have kind of just been like same old, same old. That's like my parents earlier. I was like, I wake up, I go to work, you know, I go to the gym, I come home, play the piano, and you know, and it just feels like I don't feel momentum. I feel like I'm doing what I need to do, but I'm like I don't have that like I don't know, just I feel like something needs to change. And so I was telling them, I'm like, maybe I just need to go for a drive, or I'm like, I need to take a day trip somewhere or something, because I think changing your environment is so important, because you have the same old thoughts doing the same things. And I'll write a song and it's the same song 40 times. And I'm like, fuck, like I need life experience. I need something to change for me to like it's not quite there. I know what's trying to get out, but like it's missing that, you know, that little bit of life, or, you know, maybe it's a chord that you hear, or maybe it's like a sound and you're like, that's it. That is what I'm missing. And I think for me, it's like, I think it's life. I think, like you're saying, like life will mold you and, you know, and it'll expand you if you allow it to. Because a lot of people will experience life and they're like, I'll never be able to make an album as good as that one. Or, you know, and it's like, why are you trying to live up to yourself? Why can't you just allow this to be what this is meant to be?
Right. Schoolboy Q said that one time. He was like, they're like, why do you take so long between your albums? He's like, because I got to live life. You know, if I just stood in the studio every single day of my life, like you said, you're going to make the same thing. You're not going to get new experiences. So yeah, you could look at a view or a scenery one day. You could look at the ocean and be like, oh shit, I got it. My next album's going to literally, yo, it's crazy. Music is wild. Like you can really go for, like you said, go for a drive. You know, that's what I always recommend. I have homies who hit me up and they're like, I'm not inspired, blah, blah, blah. I don't believe in writer's block. I don't believe in that. And I got this from Pharrell, to give credit to him. He's like, you're just not inspired right now. You know, it's just like, you just gotta, when it's time, it's time. You know, you can discipline yourself and do like little drills just to stay sharp, but never force anything, you know? Like you should go for that drive, you know? You should go for a walk. You should, freaking get a bottle of wine and start painting and put some music on. You'll be surprised. You'll be like, oh shoot, like I got ideas now, you know? And like journaling even, you know, just some things I recommend personally. Yeah, man, just living life, man. I feel like it all comes like naturally, you know. Being the artist, quote unquote, is taxing. We have to be humans, you know what I mean? We have to be human beings, and we have to understand that we're just, like I said earlier, we're just channeling our experiences. So, and it can be a conversation with somebody, man. Go to the gas station and somebody talks to you for 2 minutes, and they're like, oh shit. It kind of, depending on what they said, that kind of put a bit of battery in my back to just tap into something else. So yeah, man, the world, the universe, God, all that works in very mysterious ways.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. I think it's good to switch up your environment, or even like, you know, like the people that you're with, or giving an album another try, because a lot of times I'll listen to something once and I'm like, I don't like it. But it's like food, you know, or like anything, you know, you eat it a little bit more, you listen to it a couple times and it grows on you, and you're like, oh, I don't know why I hated, you know, this for so long. Like I was depriving myself of this. Or sometimes I have to tell myself like, because I think it's often really easy to like hate, you know, like, oh, well, that's trash, or, oh, I don't like that. And it's like, okay, well, what does that say about me? Okay. Or like, let's nitpick. What am I not liking about this? Okay. Well, I don't like, the tempo, or, you know, it just sounds really muddy. And it's like, okay, well, you know, maybe it's just not my style. Maybe it's just not for me, but that doesn't mean it's bad.
Right.
It just means it's not for me.
It's a great
So
point.
we've been seeing a lot of AI. I mean, especially for me, I've been seeing a lot of AI music and musical artists. What are your thoughts on just AI music?
I tend to ignore it as much as I can. I just think it's like, you know, like actual AI artists, I think is a little overboard. I think it depends what the purpose is. If you're like a big corporation and you need a jingle, you're saving money. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It's beneficial, it's a tool. But if you're an artist and you're creating AI music, I kind of feel like, come on. In my personal opinion, I think AI is very, very resourceful tool that can be used in a lot of ways that can help. But it's like, yo, man, it's like, yo, I'm a baseball player, man. I practice on my swing every day. And then I just get a bunch of steroids. It's like, bro, what's the point of practicing now? Like, I'm just good. It takes away the whole thing. It's like the process. We can't forget the process. I just think AI artists are like, every time I see stuff online about that, I just kind of like scroll past it. I'm just like, all right, I think it's just unnecessary. Like, and now we're getting overboard, kind of like, I don't want to hear AI Kehlani album. Like, I want to hear Kehlani, you know what I mean? I want to hear the human.
Yeah.
But like I said, if you're a big company or a brand or you're a new startup brand, you don't know any artists, hey, fuck around and make a little jingle for your brand or make an intro for your podcast. Hey, that makes sense. Everything with context, I always say. That everything has context. So I just think as an artist personally, hell no. I'm not doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can never really lose art. I think if anything, this is just showing that we need art in its rawest form the most now. Because if we're relying on robots to make, because I mean, art makes life fun, right? Like you go into a hospital building, you feel empty, numb, because there's not really any paintings. It's all white, there's no color. And I feel like that's what art does, whether it be a painting, a drawing, music. It creates ambiance. It creates life, and we get inspired by, things like nature. Like I would see people make songs. They'll just be like hitting sticks on a tree and they're just using it like a drum set, and then, or they'll hear like a crunch of a leaf and it's like, okay, let's add this to this. And it's like, I mean, life really does imitate art. And I feel like as much as, we think robots are going to take over the world, I really would like to think they're not going to take over our creative space, because like they don't have that feeling that we get, the feeling of falling in love. It'll never know that. It'll never know the feeling of becoming a parent. It'll never know, what it's like to be alive.
They don't got a heartbeat, man.
Yeah, they don't.
I mean,
it's crazy.
I think someone said that. I don't know if it was Pharrell or somebody, but they were like, yeah, like you can't replace, like exactly what you said. You can't replace that, man. It's a human being versus what? Technology? Like, come on.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
So do you feel like there's a moment in life, aside from like the Mary J. Blige feature, do you think there's another moment in your head that is like, this will be an I made it moment?
Yep. So I'm in Harrisburg, PA. I seen Kendrick Lamar perform at the Hershey Park Arena back in 2019, 2018. I just want to do a show there and literally like headline it and just see everybody I knew in life, As cliche as that is, but like if I did that, I'd be like, word. I'd be like, all right, you're there. You know what I mean? I always say, man, like if I do that, like I can die the next day, bro. Like I'm solid. Like that's it. I just want to headline that venue and just like see like, oh shoot, that's this person, and be like, see my parents, my daughter, like, oh dude, it's over. That's a movie. That's cinematic shit, you know what I mean? Like, shit like that, that, and just like maybe like, meeting one of my idols maybe, and just, or I wouldn't say idol, but someone who inspired me, like maybe getting approval from them, like, oh man, you're dope. I'm like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like if Kanye or like Jay-Z or Pharrell was to be like, oh man, I like what you're doing, I'd be like, oh shit, I'm done. I retire. Fuck that. I already won, I say that. But that arena one, that's been on my mind since like 17 years old.
Yeah. Yeah. I play some of those scenes in my head too of like being able to be on stage and just to be like, this is where I'm from. You know, like I grew up in these streets and like I made it.
Yeah.
And like to serve as an example that like you can too.
Right.
You know? And I didn't quit on myself. And so like I don't want you to ever quit on yourself. Like don't allow your circumstances, your hometown, where you're from define you. And that's what tries to happen, right? You know, like the people around you are like, just give up. Like you know, you're doing the most. Like, what is the point? You know, who do you think you are? You know, like, oh, you think you're so and so. Like, it doesn't happen for people like us. And it's like, whenever you're around small, because I grew up in a very small town. When you are in that environment, it takes a lot for you to kind of shut out all the negativity, and you know, like we were talking about earlier, like to just believe in yourself, just to be like, you know what? I don't care what you have to say. I don't care if you think this is good or bad. I'm doing this because this is what I'm meant to do. And I've had to realize that as like, I may not be everybody's cup of tea, but I'm somebody's, you know?
Really good.
And as long as I'm proud of what I'm brewing and what I'm doing, like, why would I care?
Right.
You know? And why would I take advice from somebody who is living a life that I wouldn't want anyways? It's like,
I always say this, man. I'd rather be in the game and losing or getting my ass beat in the game than just be someone in the stands talking shit who never even stepped foot in this shit, bro. A lot of people be in the stands. Oh, that play sucked. Don't do that. What the hell? What's going on? Oh, that play was all right. But you watching me the whole time. You never stepped foot on this turf once. So, yeah, to your point, man. Like you said earlier, you notice how you're, I forgot the word you used exactly, but a lot of people are kind of getting away from you as you lean into your purpose. That happens, yo, you know, and it's not even an egotistical thing. It's like, this is who I am. And I bet if y'all did that too, you start to notice the same thing. Or maybe we can meet each other in the middle again. We'll meet at the top again. Like, oh, shoot.
yeah.
You know? Yeah. I always say that, man. Like, people love to be critics, but they never want to try nothing. Because the feeling of failing is so scary to them. They don't even try.
Yeah.
They don't even try. So they just got to criticize others and project and be like, oh, who the hell do you think they are? Somebody who believes in myself.
Yeah. Yeah, it is scary. I mean, it is a fear of, and I've realized that, like, I have to dial back because, you know, like, I have yet to release a song. I mean, I have stuff I'm working on, but it's that fear, right? Of like, well, it's not all that I want it to be, or it's not perfect. And I was telling my parents earlier today, I'm like, but if I sit around and wait for perfection, I'll never get anything done. So sometimes it's like, okay, you know what? And I have to make something, release it, and it is what it is. But at least I got over that fear. And it's like, that's what I'm working on now is like, okay, like, let's get over this fear of being seen. Because, I mean, that's me at my most vulnerable state, you know?
Right.
That's when I feel the most vulnerable is when I'm like singing in front of people or on a stage.
Of course.
It's like, okay, well, how can I got to work on this, you know? And it's like through practice, going to smaller venues. And I mean, it makes sense, you know, like you got to work your way up because how can you feel comfortable in a room full of thousands of people if you're not even comfortable in a room full of 30? You know, like why would you get there if you don't feel like yourself here? You know?
Nah, 100%.
Like, oh.
One thing, 100%. One thing I peeped when I first started putting music out, I always, and you know, I always put things out thinking it was the best. And just knowing I gave my best rather, you know. And I'm sorry if you're my daughter in the back. She's over there yapping. But
she's fine.
Yeah, she's cool. She wants to answer the questions. Knowing that I put my best foot forward though, like that was enough for me. And then as you know, as you go through the years of releasing, you start to realize you almost were like delusional. Mm-hmm. You know, like you always believed in that said song or album or product at that time, but then it just keeps getting better and better. It's just repeating the process. It's like going to the gym, you know, or something like that. It's practicing, you know. And I heard a quote too. It's like, if you're new to music, put everything new out right away because the more you put out, the better you get. So it just makes you get there faster, kind of like the goal. And another thing I would say, and specifically to you, if you don't mind, like keep building community of other artists and other people who reassure you. Because we get in our heads a lot. That's what I had to do. Like people were like, nah, man, you're fucking dope. And I was like, oh, for real? Yeah, drop that shit. I'm like, oh, okay. sometimes we just need someone we kind of revere and respect, who we think sounds good, to be like, nah, man, you're good. Oh, okay, cool. That community, telling you.
Yeah, the validation is crazy because I'm like, I shouldn't need it, but I want it so bad.
I agree, but when you're doing something new, sometimes it is necessary to a degree. Sometimes it's like, because it's your first, you're dipping your first foot in the water. Like, am I gonna swim this shit? Like, sometimes you need someone else like diving in, like, yeah, bro, you're fine, it's safe. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even think that's, I guess it is technically validation, but it's also like acceptance. Like, oh, word, like, okay, like they said that. You know, if you don't ever get that, then you just gotta be a G and be like, you know what?
Yeah.
Nobody's at this fucking lake right now. I'm jumping in anyway. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things.
Yeah, I've definitely have noticed that, like, I have needed that sense of validation. I started taking singing lessons last year, and my vocal coach was like, she's not one of my friends, and she was like, Gaby, like, we don't really got to do lessons anymore. She's like, you just need to be confident in yourself. And there'd be times where I was doing things and she's like, I have goosebumps. Like, that was incredible. That was amazing. She's like, I almost cried. And I'm like, she's lying. Like, something, I don't know, like, there's that little person in you that's just like, people are telling you what you want to hear. And I'm like, I'm having to learn, like, why would somebody just say that?
Right.
You know, like, why would somebody lie to you? You know, like, and if they are, I mean, is it a bad thing? I mean, they're telling you something that's very validating to hear. So I'm trying to learn to take compliments like that as they are.
Right.
When it's like, because I mean, I feel like, at least when it comes to your art, like, I mean, that's when I feel the most vulnerable, is whenever I'm like, here's what I drew, or, you know, here's something that I made, you know, and it's like, oh, well, do you like it? You know,
Yeah.
it's made with love. Like, I hope you like it. Yeah. It's something that I'm working on for sure.
That's human nature, man. You know, every song I put out, that's the first initial thought I think. I hope they like it. Like, I can deny it all day, but that's the first thing I think in my brain. You know? And then, but after a while, you get a little momentum going on. You're like, someone's gonna like this, bro. And you know what? Even if they don't, I fucking like it. You know? And it's like, I know what I put into it. I know the care I put into it, and I wouldn't sell myself short. So I wouldn't have released it if I wasn't confident in it. So as long as you're confident in it, but no, it's definitely scary in the beginning. And I would just advise to just, you know, eliminate that voice, you know, and that community is big too, you know. If you say you find another artist who's dropping songs, who's also singing, and you see like they have a couple releases out, or maybe 3 years of albums, ask them, like, yo, how'd you get over that first release, you know, the jitters there? Or how'd you navigate that? And you'll be surprised. Like, a lot of people will be like, oh, I was scared of shit, you know, or they might be like, it might be the opposite. Like, I didn't give a shit. I just put it out. It's like, hearing these perspectives is like, we're just all human, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I actually have heard that when it is so scary, it's when you need to do it the most.
Right. Yeah.
It's like that fear is just you becoming. Because I'm like, how am I supposed to be Ariana Grande or Beyonce when I'm not even dipping my toes in the water? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how am I supposed to get there? But it's like, but they didn't get there from the start. They started off in their bedrooms, making music, going out, putting themselves out there. And with time, you know, even Russ said it in his book. He talked about how, like, oh, I mean, every time I put out a song, I thought it was going to blow up.
Yep.
But he's like, there reached a point where it just happened. And he's a very different type of artist, because he's like, you get the idea, you do it, you put it out. He is like, I mean, I don't even know if he has a vote, because he puts everything out, you know? And he's like, I just got to get it out of me. Like, he's like, I just have to, he's like, if it's coming through me, I heard in an interview, he'll be out with his, like, girlfriend and his mom, and out of nowhere, he's like, pick up the check, I'm heading to the car, because he got a random idea, and he's like, I gotta go to the studio, I gotta get it out. And I'm like, I love his drive.
Yeah, man.
He's so driven.
Yeah. Russ is insane, bro. Like, that's the reason he drops so much fucking music. Like, that's kind of like my intent for this year, dropping 2 songs a month. I definitely got inspired by that. I mean, he did the song a week thing, as you know. He went stupid for like 2 years. But that I like that staying in the gym mentality. Like, I don't gotta practice, man. I mean, I don't gotta what's that saying? you stay ready, you don't gotta get ready type of thing. Like I like that. Like I got the mic right here, you know, everything's set up. So it's like, what's his point? Like, you ready to record, just knock it out. And putting these songs out constantly keeps me in that mode of like, you're ready doing content for the last song, I'll do it for this one. You ready marketing? Just keeps me sharp, man. And like,
Yeah.
if I'm gonna listen to anybody, it's gonna be that dude, because like he literally built his whole career off of consistency. So yeah, Russ is a fucking dude. That motherfucker. The fact he gave us a book and like explain that, like we don't deserve that, bro.
Yeah, he has a new book that I need to read, but I do go back to it. Yeah, I need to read it. I've been trying to do more of like, because I'll feel so guilty when I'm not working on music, but I have noticed that a lot of times I am like rewatching documentaries of musicians or watching interviews, and I'm like, why am I so hard on myself when, and then that's not to say that when I am relaxing, I need to consume content surrounding music, but it is just showing me that like, it's just natural. Like I do want to learn more about it. Like I want to be a student, you know, I want to know how they got there, you know, like you're saying, like what their mentality is, like, you know, like they're just human. And I think that's a big part of it too, is, you know, when you mentioned earlier, you like my idol, and then you were like, you rephrased it. And I think that's so important because a lot of times we see these people as above us. And now I'm like, that's my motherfucking peer. That's my peer. And I haven't even dropped anything. It
doesn't even matter. The fact that you're thinking like that, you're ready.
Yeah.
Me and my friend just had this conversation when 2026 came. He was like, bro, I'm sick of this new shit. I need you to get on. I'm like, I feel you. I'm like, and that's not even to like stroke my own ego. That's real. I understood that. If someone would have told me that 3 years ago, I'd be like, nah, man, I ain't ready. But now I'm like, no, you're right, bro. You're right. And I'm like, I tell it to my friends too. And the fact that you're thinking like that now, I know for a fact you got some gems, bro. Like you got some, you got to push the button, man. At your own time, of course. At your own time.
I feel it. I feel it happening.
Never force anybody to do anything, you know what I mean? But in my respectful opinion, if you have feelings like that, yeah, man, you got to at least get to like, you know, I wish I can be in those shoes again, you know, like I miss that.
Yeah, like jumping in. Yeah.
I miss that. Like, I miss that.
Like, yeah, I love that. Like Jessie Reyes.
You don't have to see.
¿Cómo se dice? She was doing like a jumping off of like a giant cliff. I think it's like the world's highest cliff. And she didn't jump off it once, like bungee jumping. She did it 4 times. And that's how I am. It's like when I do something once, when I get it done, it's so scary to do the first one. But once I do it, it's that high, that again. And I know, and I was talking to one of my friends about it, who he also loves music as well. I tend to notice that like I tend to be around people who love music, but who have been artists who are blocked. People who are like, yeah, I love it, and I'll critique it, but that's not for me. And I used to be like that. Oh, I love music. And I would be the first to be like, I like this, I don't like this, I'll analyze it. But then I'm like, but they could have done this better. They should have rewritten it this way. I'm already critiquing it, but it's because I was a hater so bad. I wanted to be as brave as they were. But I was too afraid to be like, I want to be in those shoes, so I'm just going to be on the sidelines telling you what you could do better.
Right. That's
when
real.
I'm not even in the game, you know?
Yeah. That's super. That's real for you to say that too. And now being an artist, you understand like, oh shit, I'm on the opposite side. Like this is how it feels. Fuck, it's a lot of pressure. You know, that's admirable. You know, I think you have all the ingredients and like the essence of being a very good, great, amazing artist. And I think you should just do it. I think you should just do it. And I think you should just live in inspiration and just like keep tapping into what you're doing. And that's the cool thing about real artists, man. There's no one else like you. That's another thing. Like, what are you going to compare yourself to? There's no other you. You know, you either start and get better and that's it. Like, you know, that's how we got the greats. You know what I mean? If they wouldn't have started, we wouldn't be talking about them. So, hell yeah.
That's 100%.
True. That was a dope segment right there. That was cool.
I'm like, I can yap all day, especially about things I'm passionate about.
Me too.
Yeah, like Olivia Dean, the artist I was talking about, her album was based off of a book. And so now I'm reading that book. And so I think sometimes we got to like, okay, what are these? Who inspired my inspirations?
Right.
And that's kind of where I'm at. It's like, let me study them because I'm sure I'll love them if I love this person, you know? So my final question to you is, what's a message you want to leave with the world?
My message I would like to leave to the world. Stay curious. Never settle. And if you enjoy doing it and it's not harming you or others, continue to do it. And I want to go back to what we said earlier too about like the inner child. Tap into that. Tap into just the curious, playful state and just have fun, man. You know what I mean? Like, obviously we're all grown. We have life. We got shit we go through. But try to live in that as long as you can, because life's already got a bunch of obstacles in front of you that's going to be triggering, hard, emotion evoking. It's a lot of BS already in front of us. We got to make sure our vehicle, aka ourselves and our mind and our soul, is intact. So don't let the distractions of the public, the world, it's regular day shit get in the way, man, and enjoy it. We're here. We got 80 years in this motherfucker if we're lucky. So, take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. Live your life. I say that.
I love that. Beautiful message. And where can we find you on social media?
Instagram, BMAR_music, BMAR_music, Spotify, Apple Music, BMAR. Yeah, man, just look up BMAR, you'll find me probably. You probably see me talking about some motivational shit or like fucking rapping. But yeah, man, you can catch me on at the Bad Bunny halftime show. I was in the back dancing in the crowd. I don't know if y'all peeped that. I was there. I don't listen to him, but I was there.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because that's one of my goals in life is like, I want to be able to just take all my family to the Super Bowl. I just want to be like, you know what? And I don't give a fuck who's playing. I don't care. And I have a big family. But just to be like, you know what? This year, we're going to the Super Bowl.
Word.
I don't care if it's $1 million, $2 million, because I got a big family.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're going to the Super Bowl.
Hell yeah.
And it'd be even more amazing to be like, and guess who's performing? Like I've been seeing bigger benchmarks for myself. And I'm like, you know what? Dream big, because like, why dream small,
Exactly. You got to, man. Plant the seed, and like, if it doesn't happen, it wasn't meant. But at least you went for it, and at least you visualized it. And I don't know, man, 9 times out of 10, people who visualize and speak about it happen. So,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Might as well. Yeah. I'd rather try and fail miserably than never try. Feel me? So, yeah, you can do that, man. And I want to take it too. So if you go to school, let me know, man.
Say less.
Yeah, you can put me in the back, very top. I don't even give a shit.
You'll be a tree. No,
yeah, I'll be in front of a big block where I can't see nothing.
Well, for Bad Bunny's halftime show, they had people dressed as the trees. Did you know that?
I think I saw that. Yeah, I saw.
Yeah, I was like, I'm tree number this and this and this. No, but I love that too. And then people bring other people out. Like you haven't just seen an artist just go on there and not bring family.
Right.
It's like, no, you were with me. We're all eating. And that's how I feel too, is like, like you were talking about community. Like, it's not about who we are right now. It's about who are we right now and where are we going?
Exactly.
Because I'm not, like, if you're with me now, it's only up from here, And this isn't even the bottom. Like, if this is the bottom, like, this is not the bottom, Like, we're not, we're blessed. We have so much. And it's like, okay, well, it'll only get better.
That's a fact. I like that, because I feel like a lot of artists, and even me too sometimes, we do equate wherever we're at as the bottom a lot. I don't know why we do that. I don't know if I blame Drake for that, because that song. But we always tend to do that. That's a good point, yo. This isn't the bottom. You know what I mean? That's real shit. I like that.
Yeah, I think we oftentimes forget where we started. And
hell yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, well, Gaby a year ago was afraid to even say she wanted to be a singer. And it's like, sometimes it is just, okay, you know what? This is my dream and I'm going to say it out loud. And then sometimes it is, okay, here's my first single. And then it's like, okay, here's my first EP. Okay, well, here's my first album. okay, this is my first album after, like even like Beyonce, like,
Yep.
and we know people's business, like she, she got cheated on publicly, and it's like, here's my album. Here's what I went through. And that's what people resonate with. It's like, damn, girl, you went through all of that. And I felt it. I felt every single lyric in the album. And it's one of her best albums. And it's like, I mean, I love that. You're being able to see that even no matter how big you get, just staying true to yourself and like what your story is. Because like oftentimes you see a lot of artists take songs from people. And that's something that I was very unaware of, is like, oh, so-and-so wrote it and I'm just singing on it, because people, they often stay in their lane, like you'll see producers like with Kanye. Oh, he's just a producer. He's just a producer. He's not a rapper.
Right.
He's not a rapper.
Right.
And Kanye's like, I'm not just a producer. I'm a producer and I'm a rapper. And I think for me, that's how I feel, is like, yeah, of course I love to sing, but I mean, I want to get to a point where it's like, maybe I don't produce every song, but I love, like messing around with beats and stuff like that. And it's like, I mean, that's a skill that I want to tap into at some point, but I know that right now, it's like, I'm not there yet. I know that like I'm meant to do bigger things, like be in films and whatever, write books. I have like my list of things I want to accomplish is massive, but it's like, okay, well, there's a time and place, Gabby. Right now, let's focus on this dream. Like Rihanna made music. Now she has a makeup line. She released lingerie. She didn't limit herself to just, I can only be this type of artist. She was like, no, I'm a motherfucking artist. And here's what she did.
Right.
And it's like, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm like, yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm not trying to just stay in one lane. I love art in any form. Creating is what I'm meant to do. What I'm meant to create. That's what we're trying to figure out,
Hell yeah. Bring your passions to life, As long as like you said, as long as you stay on that path, everything will kind of just start bringing itself to you. You start attracting the things you like and the things that you think are cool. I mean, Tyler, the Creator, is also a great example too. Like, that dude is so fucking random. And when he first came out, he was just like a funny kid. Now look at him. He has his own festival, got a shoot with Vans, and I think he did like a deal with some big ass company. I forgot the name of it. One of the like Louis Vuitton. It was one of those things. He's in the Grinch. He's scoring the Grinch cartoon movie. Like, this is probably all shit he just liked growing up. Like, probably just a big ass kid making millions and doing what he loves, bro. So yeah, to your point, yeah, man. You just plant the seed and then shit starts growing. And as time goes on, each thing takes place in its timely manner. So 100%. I'm the same exact way as you, man. I be thinking just like that, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. And I'm just like, all right, man, let me do this first. Let me establish myself here, and then that'll get there. So yeah, you gotta dream big. Makes life fun, more fun,
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you for joining the podcast today. Really appreciated you.
Yeah, that was dope. Thanks, guys, for watching me and caring for what I have to say. And I'm sorry I don't listen to Bad Bunny. I'm going to get on it. I swear to God.